Exactly. I upload the information, drop it off to you guys, and you guys just took it to the goal line, and we scored a touchdown.
Shit, dude. How did that make you feel, bro? Once it's in the bag, it closed out. Like, what? Getting that first closing check, what did it feel like?
Man, I was online and I saw the email said, "Congratulations, you guys are closed and you guys are fully funded." Man, I did my 2-step. I was like, "What?" Man, I was like, "What?"
We are live. Welcome to the Deal Maker series of the Wholesalers Playbook. The whole purpose of this podcast series is to document people's first deals, how they found them, the process, and the growth that they experienced in that process. So I wanted to bring my man James Profit on the podcast today. Just got his first deal closed out in the market of Miami. I'm stoked, man. I think this made you a believer, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
real,
excited.
you know.
Wanted to bring you on just to share your testimony and how that went. So welcome today, bro. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I want to go back to the beginning, man. How did you first stumble upon wholesaling?
Man, actually, man, I was just on Instagram, on social media, and then like there was a guy who was like entertainment. I was following him, and then he had a beef with this guy called Tony the Closer.
Yeah.
And then I started following Tony. And then Tony came on live and talked about real estate. And then I went to his YouTube page. He's like, "Did you know they were lying to you? You don't need no license. There's all this education to make money in real estate." Yeah. So then I start going deep. I'm like, really? Because honestly, I thought you need all the degrees or licenses to make money in real estate because I'm thinking, you have to be like a realtor. You have to be like a broker in order to make money. Then I'm like,
yeah.
The more I go into YouTube, it's like, nah, bro, they lied to you. And then from there, I just being curious, just going to YouTube, finding more information about wholesale real estate. And like, that's where it started, man. Tony the Closer. That's
amazing, bro. How long ago was that?
I'll say that was good about like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I started, man, I was on YouTube pretty much just like soaking up all the info, just going from him. And then I came across Max Maxwell. I came across Brent Daniels. I came against Demille Damji, Pace Morby. It's like I was just going into the whole YouTube hole trying to find out more about wholesale real estate. Because I was like, is this stuff real? I'm like, yeah, man, because everybody had the same story.
Yeah. Is YouTube where you ended up finding us?
Yes. Actually, I was okay. I went on YouTube and searched how to dispo and also how to sell the hedge funds.
Yeah.
There was maybe like only 4 or 5 YouTube videos that was talking about hedge fund and dispo. And then of course, and then I came across yours about the whole dispo with the hedge funds and the process. I don't know what it was. I'm like, whatever you were saying, I'm like, this sounds legit. And you're like, yo, you can link me up on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm like, okay, man, well, let me text me on YouTube. Yeah. And that day you come like, really? What's up? Let's connect. And then from there,
it awesome, happened, man. That's crazy, man. Crazy how the internet like connects people on so many different levels. Like you don't realize how powerful of a tool it really is, man. But I mean, we've never met in person, right?
Exactly.
We just closed your first deal together, man.
Exactly. And the big difference between you and the other guys, like those other guys are so unreachable because they got, more like, guys, more like assistants, and you got to text, you got to call. It's like, and pretty much like when it comes to you just like DM me direct and call me direct. And I'll find, hey, he called me direct. That means, he's down to business. I'm down to learn whatever I can. So therefore, why not?
Yeah. That's amazing, bro. So from the moment that you started wholesaling, right, or started marketing, you decided this is what I want to do. How long did it take you to come across the first deal?
Man, it took me, I'll say, a good 3 months, but because I didn't know whether it was real and I would just kind of just listening to whoever was saying, do this marketing, do SMS, do cold calling, do probate, do this. I was just pretty much all over the place.
Yeah.
And then I came down to let me get a list. Let me do SMS. I did that, but still I wasn't getting the results. And also through my research and just digging into different podcasts, I realized not only to have a list, you have to have a specific list. It's like you have to break it down to what you really want, more like a target versus going wide. You got to go deep. Yep. And then I had to learn that because after tired of wasting money on leads and cold, I'm like, man, is this stuff for real? And then I came across you guys. You're like, well, narrow down to this, focus on this target.
Yeah.
So therefore, once I start doing that, it's like I'm start having more conversation with sellers. I'm getting more into the game.
Yeah.
It
gave you. Would you say that it gave you more confidence?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Correct. Because typically, it's like when you're trying to cold call, you have maybe like every 30th, 40th person to answer the phone.
Right.
And like, even if they answer, oh, property sold. I'm not interested. Don't call back.
Right.
Yeah, but with you guys, I had a method where I was like, hey, it's like if you focus on this, then your callbacks will be, I'll say it's like you'll get more results. And that's like, that's what happened, in terms of contacts.
Yeah. And that really was the whole point of putting together the partnership portal was giving you the roadmap, right? Like, hey, here's the target markets where you want to hit. Why? Because we have cash buyers that pay more money than anyone else in the market, right? It really is. It's simple if you know where you're aiming, right? And I think that's a foundational truth in entrepreneurship, leadership is you got to know what you're aiming at, right? If you don't have a clear target, you're just going to be, shooting shots in the wind, hoping something sticks, right? But you're not like laser focused. And what I've realized is you got to start with the end, right? You got to fixate and focus on that target first. And once you know where you're aiming, right, you can get a little more dialed in and you can reverse engineer that whole thing, release your marketing through that process and be more effective in your results.
Exactly.
I think as wholesalers, we do a good job at overcomplicating the process, right? Like myself, I'm guilty of that. I take like a simple concept, right? Like find a property that someone wants to sell and line a buyer up at a higher price, right? It's that simple, right?
Correct.
But we have a way of trying to create all these complicated, clunky systems around it, thinking that we're going to be more effective. And we're spending all this time on these systems instead of the activities that lead us to getting that deal, So, I mean, my best advice for like new people is write a list of the top 5 money-making activities that you can do every single day, right? Sure. Number one is just talking to sellers. The more sellers you talk to, the more results you're gonna get, right?
Definitely.
That's what's up, man. So going to I know it's been a very short time that you've been in the industry. So the first deal just closed last week, right?
Correct.
Let's go through that process. Like what tools you were using, how you got in contact with the seller, how that negotiation played out, and then the process from getting the contract lined up and getting it closed.
Well, pretty much like you said, I was sorry. I was focused on a list on the target, right? I had a list to call. I went on Facebook. No, I'm sorry. I went on Facebook, Zillow, and I put together my data on like a FSBO list within a particular region based on where the fund was buying. So then I just start hitting the phones, phone number by phone number, phone number by phone number. Because now I understand that although you call someone, people are at work, they're busy, they have kids, they have family, so therefore they may not answer.
Yeah.
But initially, someone would pick that phone up, someone would answer. And it just so happened that, the guy didn't answer, but then when I started doing that, if he didn't answer, I was sending him an SMS. So then it was like, maybe like a few hours later, he's like, no, first I text him, well, would you like cash offer on your deal? Right? And he's like, make me an offer. Right? So I said, XYZ. He's like, well, go higher. I'm like, well, I went maybe like a few thousand high. He's like, go higher. I'm like, well, let me, right? So I'm like, well, what are your numbers? Then he then shot me a number. So I'm like, well, that's kind of high. But here's the thing I learned from you guys. You guys always say, well, don't go for the first deal. Make them feel that like you don't really need their deal.
Yeah.
Right. So then I'm like, well, your number's kind of high. So let me do this. Let me talk to my team. And then I'll contact you back in the morning. So I waited. So I call up one of your assistants and kind of, give me some game. So then the following day I came back. Hey, Mr. How are you doing? Okay, well, I know you wanted X amount of dollars, but based on the comps and based what we can buy a property for, this is the max we can offer you. He's like, that's kind of low. Can you do better? But the price I gave him was like $30,000 lower than what he wanted. He wanted me to go house. I'm like, well, sir, this is the max I can do. He's like, well, can you do any better? So then I went up I'm like, well, let me call you back. So then I called one of your guys again. He's like, well, let's go up $3,000 up on the offer because he wanted 5. I'm like, well, I can offer you 3,000 more. He's like, well, how about 5? I'm like, well, I'm sorry, man. We would love to do deal, but this is the max we can offer. He's like, okay, then I'll take it. Because initially he came like $40,000 higher in terms of margin, right? But then I realized he was an investor and like he wanted to sell his property ASAP because he needed the fund to do something else.
Yep.
And like that's what I realized throughout the journey is that some sellers are motivated. Like some sellers are motivated based on what's going on in their lives at that time. And some people need to sell now and some people need to sell later. So therefore it depends on where they are within, their business. And it was like the perfect time. And it's like, we just keep going back and forth. Remember, I have never spoken to the guy. We did the whole deal just by texting.
That's amazing. That's amazing, dude.
The whole deal, man. He's like, he agreed. Okay, fine. I'll send the contract. Okay, now let me get your name and email. I send the contract. He docu-signed it. We had a deal on the table all through SMS. Not even heard from the guy. Yeah. During that process.
Dropped it into the system, right? We got it.
Exactly. I uploaded the information, dropped it off to you guys, and you guys just took it to the goal line, and we scored a touchdown.
Yeah, dude. How did that make you feel, bro? Once it's in the bag, it closed out. Like getting that first closing check, what did it feel like?
Man, I was online and I saw the email said, congratulations, you guys are closed and you guys are fully funded. Man, I did my 2-step. I was like, well, man, I was like, what?
Man.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It was just like, man, honestly, it was such a nice feeling being that all the hard work pays off and that the system works. If you just like you guys said, be consistent in what you're doing. Because at first I was like, man, I was getting tired of all this cold calling, all this lists not really working. I would just kind of do it day in and day out. But then I realized during that time, every evening, same time, I was pulling data and getting those phones for like 3 hours. I would not stop. For 3 hours, I would leave messages, I would SMS, I would call. But the main thing was consistency. And I realized the more I was consistent, the more contact I would have with sellers. And the more contacts, then you'll find out, okay, call me a week, call me about a month, or call me next year. But the main thing was staying in the game and not giving up.
Yeah.
And eventually it was my first deal.
Sick, man. And from the time that you got the first deal, we have how many more in process right now? You got 1 or 2 in the system?
We got 2 in the system and we got 2 pending based on they need to do renovations. So, they're like in the fun of coming out, but not ready to sign yet, but like still, it's more like follow-ups.
Mm-hmm. Sick. Close the first deal. I said you close the first one, it's like the domino effect. Start racking it up and the momentum starts building.
Exactly, because because now it was like the confidence is there and like how to interact with the sellers, like the viewpoints they're coming from in terms of, okay, whether they're motivated or not, or how to talk to them based on what their needs are, like where they need to be.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I tell people that the most effective sales teams and acquisitions managers are the people that focus on the solution, right? You're not chasing after the money. You're not just, you don't have commission breath, so to speak, right? Where you're focused on listening to what that seller has to say, right? Like, what does this seller need in their unique situation, right? Are they an investor? Do they just need to sell it so they can pull the money out and get their new house? Like, whatever the case is, you need to be an active listener. You need to build a relationship, earn their trust, earn their rapport before you can have enough trust to actually make an offer and have them accept it, right? So sales really is just relationship building. But when you focus on helping people solve problems, and sometimes they might not even know how bad they need you, right? But like you said, the goal at the end of your conversation is to make them realize their need for you, right? So how can you build that trust, build that rapport, and show them that you're credible, right? Even though it was your first deal, you came in leveraging our network, knowing that we do have the resources and the tools to get it done, right? But that gave you the confidence to get in there and take it to the finish line.
correct. And I know that honestly, if I had to do the deal by myself with all the stuff we had to get done, I wouldn't get it done. I wouldn't have the confidence and I wouldn't have the expertise or the knowledge to close that deal. And that's why, like the partnership is so real to me, because I'm like, well, just like you say, it's like I can get the ball, I can alley hoop it, then you gotta just dunk it. It works for me.
Yeah.
You know?
I like to say, man, my favorite saying is real estate is a team sport, right? Just like life is a team sport. Like we need to have a team around us, right? To support our goals, to support our vision, whether it be your family, having a team built around your children, making sure that they're surrounded by a healthy community, right? But same thing in the business world, like team, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. And it's hard. It's not only is it hard, but it's lonely as a solopreneur, right? We can get out there, try to do all the right actions, but if we don't have people in our corner to help bring us up, support us, edify us, invest in knowledge, help one another grow, we're going to fill in this like dark, lonely spot. We might be making money, but entrepreneurship can be a lonely roller coaster if you don't have that community around you.
Yeah, and exactly, especially with the partnership, because okay, like when I first started, I DM'd this guy on Facebook, and like the guy lives like within my city. He's a flipper, he's a wholesaler. He's like, yeah, man, let's connect, let's do something together, right? So then every time I reach out, he would be, like he's busy doing something else. But like I understand. So there one day, I had a potential wholesale deal on the table. I'm like, yo, I may have a deal. Run the numbers for me, right? He's like, well, we can make this work, but it's going to be kind of tight. I'm like, just get the deal done.
Yeah.
Right. So then it came to around where the seller backed out the deal because there were like two owners involved. So I guess one of the guys wasn't up to par. So like they both backed out. Right. But like during that time, I was trying to at least know the process of how the deal gets done.
Yeah.
Right. But then I came from like, okay, let's get this deal done. Show me how the process works from the goal line to the end zone. But for him, it was like, well, when we get there, I'll teach you. I'm like, bro, I don't have, okay, first of all, like you're never available, right? And I don't have that much time to be like, well, step by step. I'm like, if you just take the time out to kind of walk me through the process, then I won't have to call you up every day. I'm saying just to get things done.
Yeah.
And then from that point, he was like, well, if you bring the deal, then I'll teach a process. I'm like, dude, so therefore what I did, man, I went on YouTube and I find the exact thing he didn't want to teach me.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so therefore I just take it upon myself to learn the steps and like me, you guys were just some more like icing on the cake in terms of sealing the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just like you said, without a team or like without that expertise, it's like a lonely road.
Yeah. I realized earlier this year that we can multiply the results, right, by training and equipping more people, right? So the amount that you get paid is going to be directly proportional to, one, the amount of value that you bring into the marketplace, right? And two, the amount of people you're able to help. So I'm like, hey, what if we can take our knowledge, compress it together on a weekly call, right? So just do a weekly Zoom call where we get partners together. We get in, we talk shop, share high-end strategies, give you guys the roadmap, explain how to navigate the partnership portal. And guess what? We can multiply the amount of deals we can do by partnering with you guys, by training you guys, investing in that knowledge, right? And it helps the whole team win.
Exactly.
It was like a light bulb moment, bro. It's probably one of the best decisions I could have made, right? Just stepping out and saying, hey, let's invest in the team. Let's do it. Let's build it up. But that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
What would you say for a brand new wholesaler, someone that's just getting started? If you had one piece of advice to give them, what would that be?
Wholesaling is real. It's not that difficult. And I'll say just keep it simple, man, because I think because as new wholesalers, because like we want to learn so much. We want to get the whole game like overnight on YouTube, going through all different channels, different forums. And then just it's like, just like they always say, like we become paralyzed by like analysis because we have so much information, we just don't know which way to turn.
Yeah.
But I would say, man, find you a mentor that can teach you the ropes because it's not that difficult. You just need focus.
Yep.
If you know where you're going, then trust me, you will hit that target. And just like I said, I was all over the place. I didn't even have focus based on which direction I want to go. And then pretty much what you guys brought to the table was like, yo, James, here's the target. Do not go to the left, do not go to the right. Just shoot straight. Then eventually you hit the target with consistency.
That's golden. I think that's it. If I was to give advice, the same thing, like focus on one thing, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Don't get distracted by these shiny objects and this new subject 2 course and this training and then all these different marketing things.
Yeah, there's so much.
Your mind tries to keep up and you're juggling all these different strategies that you haven't learned how to become a master of one, right? And instead of carving out that groove, right, and investing in the knowledge, becoming an expert, you're freaking juggling all these balls in your head and you're all over the place, right? And it's unorganized chaos. And there's nothing happens there, right? You're not providing like a fertile soil for the seeds to sprout up and grow, So
exactly.
Yeah, that's it. I'm glad you said that. So we're getting towards the end of 2021. We got month and a half left. So it's quarter 4. It's fourth quarter push, man. We got to finish the year strong. What are your goals for this next year? Looking into 2022, what goals do you have set out for yourself?
Man, I think now, after I did my first deal, I'm more confident. And knowing that I have a partner, which are you guys, to kind of take the ball to the end zone. I just bring it to you guys, make the closing. I'm trying to make that $100K a month.
Yeah.
Because I never been there, but I know now that it's real.
Yeah.
I'm motivated to even achieve that goal. Saying it just takes more work.
Right?
Huh?
I say that, and you see it too. Like it's clear of how, I don't want to say how easy it can be, but
it's possible.
Yeah, you see it as a reality, right? And you believe that it's true. And that's where it starts.
It's possible, man. It goes back to Les Brown. Les Brown say, well, guess what? If you want this, guess what? It's possible.
Yes.
If it was impossible, you wouldn't be able to think about it, even do it. But because you can, it's possible. And if you apply, then guess what? When you think it's possible, then you can achieve it, man.
Dude, everything starts with belief, bro.
Exactly.
That's like a foundational principle. If you believe something in your heart, it's already yours. You just have to go out there and get it. Go out there and find it, right? But you got to believe. You got to know that you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that it's real, right? And once you've claimed that from within, you just got to take action, bro.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah, man. I love that stuff. That's the stuff that makes me come alive, because it's like it gives hope to people, right? And hope is a very, very strong motivator if you're able to target it, right? And point it in the right direction. That's what it's all about, man. We help the team win, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. And it's a different experience when you hear people talking about hope, but it's like a whole different experience when you have experience that hope yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, therefore, because you have experienced the success or the fruit of it, now you can be a witness, be like a testimony about, okay, man, you know what? I did it. And guess what? You can do the same thing, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Get clear with your goals, right? Figure out where you want to go. Write it down, make it clear, and just take action, right? Take action, get out of your own way. And like you said, get a mentor in your corner. Get somebody that's going to root you on, that's going to help keep you on course and hold you accountable, right?
Yeah, man, definitely, man, because, accountability is like very important. And I think, just like you say, get a mentor, like someone that supports, like someone. Okay, I think one of the best part, like someone who's not going to compete with you guys, but someone who want to complement as a team. Just like you said, together we all go further, man. So therefore, why compete?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I think it's the people that grasp that get the furthest, right? And even if there is competition in the market, how can you look at the competition and say, how can we collaborate in some shape or form, right? Like what skill set do they have that I might be lacking or that our team is missing? And how can we think creatively to come together, right, to make that power team, right? It might be very small type of partnership deals. It might be adding value to their like there's always opportunities, but you got to think outside of the box and stop looking at people as competition,
Exactly, man. Definitely.
I love it, bro. Love it. Well, that's gold, bro. I'm stoked for you, man. I know that first one, getting that first check, man, and it really becoming real. I know how big of a deal it was for me, man. Like it made everything become true, right? I realized the power behind that. So I'm excited to watch you grow, man. Get some more deals closed, man, and it's already going. I mean, you got the irons in the fire. You got some contracts that are already lined up. Like it's time, bro. It's separation season. Oh
yeah, man. Well, it's like we still got like maybe like another month before the whole year ends. I'm trying to. I always say, I'm gonna shoot for 5 this month just to close out December on a bang.
Yeah.
And then we start back up for the new year. But overall, it's like I'm trying to go. I'll say at least like 5 for the month of December. Just make it happen, and just like I said, from there, because like I'm saying, like come January, I'm trying to go with 100K a month, and I know that if I shoot for 100K, even if I don't get to 100K, but I'll get cooked. I'm saying, but therefore I'm going to be much further financially where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So why not? I have nothing to lose. You see what I'm saying?
That reminded me of one thing I want to touch on before we jump off, bro. So James is working a full-time job, right? So he's driving a truck for a living.
I have my own delivery service company.
Yeah.
So like I'll drive. I would come home. I would have my daughter, do her thing, and I'm smashing the phones till like 7 o'clock. From 5 to 7, I'm on the phones because like that's my routine. And if I'm 7 o'clock, I take my baby girl, kind of get ready for bed. But from 7, from like 5 to 7, I'm on the phone because I understand that if I miss a day or two, then like I'm kind of off track.
Yeah.
And because I'm always on the road, I don't have time to talk to the sellers. But I know that when I'm calling between 5 and 7, if they don't answer the phone, I will send them a text.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm on the road, I can reply back or, get back later. But I realize that, it's more like a response time versus, and yeah, man, it's like we're doing a part-time, whatever it is, it's like you just have to find the time to do it. And on Saturdays, man, Saturday is like I'm going into like my office. It's like from Saturdays from like 9 to 12, 9 to 3, I'm on the phones again because I know that if I'm trying to achieve something, then the road I got to be disciplined instead of, out shopping and just running around on Saturday. Nah, man, that's when I have my time to kind of make some phone calls. So I got to do it.
That's it. James will call me when he's on the road sometimes. He'll be like, hey, I'm working on this deal. I feel like we're real close here. Check it out. What do you think? Like, dude, I'll tell you what, this last week, it was like every day, 2-3 calls, and he's got new deals coming up. He's like, check out this one. Hey, what do you think of this one? I'm like, dude, you're freaking doing it, bro. Just action. You got out of your own way and you started doing it.
Exactly, man.
That's sick, dude. I love it, man.
Consistency, man.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, consistency. That's what it's all about.
That's it, bro. Awesome. Well, good stuff, my man. Looking forward to watching your continued growth, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, sharing the process, bro. I hope that this encourages more people to get out there and create some true change in their life as well.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. You know, looking to connect as always.
I love it, bro. Well, good stuff, bro. Till next time, I'll see you on the other side, bro. Let's smash out 2021 with a bang and get towards those 6-figure months.
No problem, man. Oh, and okay, and like before we leave next year, man, we want you guys to come to South Florida to do like a whole mastermind thing. I put it all together. Just y'all, I'm saying, y'all got to show up.
Hey, let's put that on the map.
I got venues, man. You know, so
yeah,
nothing.
I'm gonna put you in charge of lining up a venue, or maybe we'll get like a Airbnb, a nice Airbnb down there, bro, and let's do it.
Yeah, because you know South Florida like so saturated, like investors and wholesalers.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I don't see because I know that normally you do your masterminds, you know, every so often where you're at, but like down here is that I don't hear anything and I don't see anything. And I know that a lot of individuals are really doing it, but they're not coming collectively together in order to grow. So I'm like, hey, I'm in South Florida. Why not? We're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cool thing about the industry is we can do anything virtual now, right?
Exactly.
Everything from your phone. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, definitely. So
opens up the opportunities. But yeah, I'm with it, bro. Let's put it on the calendar. We'll make it happen.
You know, it's either that or, you know, it's like I'll take a trip, you know, just to hang out with one of you guys. You know what I'm saying? I need a trip anyway. So, you know, I take the trip to South Carolina. I don't mind at all, man, you know.
Come on through, bro. Come and hang out at the office for a few days.
Make it a trip, you know.
We got to finish basement too. We got plenty of room for hosting.
No problem.
We'll go out there on the golf course and go hit some clubs, bro.
No problem, man.
Good stuff, man. Salute. I'll see you on the other side, bro.